Hi guys, welcome to our very first remote theater lesson. This is going to be a brief introduction to the world of theater. We will talk about the history of theater as well as some important vocabulary that you will need to know for our future lessons and when we do our very own readers theater. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about what theater is exactly. So theater is a physical place where something called a drama is performed. A drama is a story that's told in front of a live audience. That's you and me when we go sit down and watch this drama or a play. The people who perform this story are called actors. And actors know how to perform the story because they have a special book called a script. And this script will tell them what to say, where to stand, where to go, and so much more. So there is actually documented evidence that theater has been in existence for over 2,500 years. Cultures all around the world each have some form of theater. But the theater that you and I are most familiar with here in the U.S. is heavily influenced by ancient Greek and Roman theater. Here is a Greek theater that dates all the way back to the 4th century BC. That is a long time ago. And here is another theater, a Roman theater that you can find in Italy. And the last theater on this slide is actually much more recent than the other two. This is the Globe Theater in England, and I actually took this picture. The first thing I want you to notice about all three types of theater is that they are outdoors. The seating is a circle around the stage where actors will perform. The seats are continuously raised up so everyone has a good view. Now, those are three types of theater that happened way before we had electricity and all of the cool modern technology. So let's take a look at what theaters look like today. A lot about theater has changed over the centuries, and today most theaters are indoors. So here is one that you may recognize. This is actually a theater here in Fort Worth. It is the Casa Mañana, and you can tell it's the Casa Mañana because it has that gorgeous dome ceiling with the foil stars above. But if you're looking, there are a lot of things that are the same from all the ancient theaters that we just looked at. There's a stage, and the audience is seated in a circle around the stage, and the seats are continuously raised so that everyone has a good view of what's happening on the stage. But you can also see a lot of modern conveniences as well. Lots of expensive and beautiful lighting and props and sets, and the actors will all have different costumes. So that's just a little bit of a glimpse into modern theater. Let's take a look at the parts of the stage that you may see referenced when we start looking at scripts together. This place is where you and I would sit, the audience. This is called the house. Here is stage right, which is actually to our left, and stage left, which is actually to our right, downstage, which is upstage for us, and upstage, which is towards the back. So it's a little bit backwards. So it's important to know this vocabulary. And to the sides, you have something called the wings. The wings are usually hidden by curtains, and this is where actors will wait for their turn to enter onto stage. And they also will store extra props and set pieces in the wings as well for constant set changes or scenery changes. So now let's talk about some things that you might need to put on a play in a theater. The most important thing is a script. That's a written down version of the story, and it tells you what to say, where to stand, what kind of lighting to use, what the scenery will look like, and so much more. You will also need a set, A set is like a fancy background with lots of different things to tell you where the story is taking place. Props are things that the actors hold or interact with that will help them tell the story. And costumes are things that they wear to help you tell the characters apart and immerse you in the story. You may also need lighting and actors. Actors are the people who tell the story. And the person who is in charge of putting all of this together is the director. The director is typically one or two people who work together as a team to tell the story. They help interpret the script, guide actors in what to do and where to go. They help design the set and organize the lighting. They're basically the boss of the play. So now it's your turn. On the S'more page below, I have included some examples of theater. You can look and see if some of the elements we talked about are there. Next week, when we come back together, we're going to learn about drama as a genre, and we're going to talk about how to read a script, because it's very different from any other story that you may have read before. But that's all we have for you this week. We will see you next time. Goodbye.